Good afternoon. Welcome to Africa Today. I am Wisdom Onyisi. First, the headlines. Tinubu rails out free achievement as reasons Nigerians shouldn't hit streets. Gambia, Senegal hold talks to strengthen border security. Uganda protest at least 42 charged in Kampala court. And on sport, Man City demands €77 million after striker asked to leave Guardiola sides. Now the news in details. Nigeria's President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has identified the commencement of the student loan scheme, the 70,000 naira new minimum wage, and the establishment of the Consumer Credit Initiative as reasons Nigerians should not embark on the proposed August 1st to 10th, 2024 hardship protest. The president disclosed this when he received a delegation of Islamic leaders led by Sheikh Bala Lau at the State House. Tinubu urged the protest planners not to turn Nigeria into Sudan. According to him, his government was reworking its social welfare scheme to reach every vulnerable Nigerian at the grassroots level. Away from that, Zamfara State Governor Dauda Lawal has lauded President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for signing the Northwest Development Commission bill into law. On Tuesday, the president signed bills creating the Northwest Development Commission and the Southeast Development Commission. In a statement issued in Gusau, the spokesperson of the governor, Suleiman Bala Idris, said the establishing the commission would create more opportunities for development in the Northwest. The statement added that Governor Lawal hopes that the commission would quickly come into force to address the long years of underdevelopment being suffered by the region. This demonstrates the president's concern for the deeply distressed people of the Northwest region who have endured years of banditry and related crimes. The Northwest Development Commission was established to help rebuild roads, houses, and businesses destroyed during the crisis that affected the region. Away from that, Niger State government has disbursed 500 million for the payment of retirement benefit to the first batch of 452 retirees in the state. The ceremonial presentation of checks was performed by the Deputy Governor, Comrade Yakubu Gaba, who represented Governor Mohammed Omaru Bago. The Deputy Governor said that even those who retired over 20 years ago were among the beneficiaries, saying it was with mixed feelings that those retirees were receiving their benefits. He said the government had adopted a payment strategy to prioritize those who retired first in the payment schedules based on retirement date and year. Comrade Gaba said each of the badges will be allocated 500 million naira and the number of beneficiaries will depend on the amount to be paid to each beneficiary. We also have that the Labour Party presidential candidate in the 2023 general election, Peter Obi, has recorded his visit to the state Ohanese President General Chief Emmanuel Iwanyang at the hospital earlier this month. Obi said the late President General of Ohanese promised him that he would be well soon. He described the death as shocking and said Iwanyang was a bridge builder who would be remembered for so many positives. Obi, writing on his X handle, said he was not just a father to many, but a bridge builder who remained committed to the peaceful coexistence of the nation. He was undoubtedly a deeply patriotic Nigerian who desired for justice, equity, progress and development of the nation transcended tribal boundaries. Now, when we return, news from all the parts of West Africa. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Now, news from other parts of West Africa. Lead sponsor of the witchcraft bill, Francis Xavier Sosu, is optimistic that the president will assent to the bill as a farewell gift to the people of Ghana. He believes that despite the criticism and backlash from the citizen, President Akufo-Addo will make amends and approve the bill before his tenure ends. He illustrated that the president has always projected himself as a human rights advocate, and it would damage his reputation if he left office without signing the bill. Sosu stressed that if the president does not assent to the bill before leaving office, he is ready to begin the process of laying the bill in the parliament until it becomes law. We go on a short break.
This is Hillstv. Quality broadcasting is what we'll bring to you. Now we be this
Hillstv, Polka.
Welcome from that short break. Representatives from the security forces of the Gambia and Senegal convened a high-level security meeting in Banjul aimed to enhance security and peace at the two countries' border. Last year, the two countries signed a security agreement in Ziguinchor, Senegal. The agreement culminated in conducting joint patrols to maintain peace and order on the borders. During the meeting, Sarine Dao Njie, Gambia's Minister of Defense, expressed delight with the committee and reaffirmed the two governments' continued commitment to promoting peace and stability. He emphasized the close and friendly relationship between Gambia and Senegal as development partners, stating that the relationship has developed into a strategic partnership based on shared democratic values and peace. Basiro Sen, the Senegalese deputy ambassador to the Gambia, also expressed similar sentiment, commending the political will of the leadership of both governments. Gambia's Deputy Army Chief Osman Gomez highlighted that the committee's primary objective is to plan, coordinate, and assess all security challenges affecting both Senegal and the Gambia along the shared maritime and land borders to maintain peace and stability. Away from that, we have that South Africa's Democratic Alliance took the African National Congress, the party it governs the country with, to court Thursday over a re-election speech in May given by President Cyril Ramaphosa. It is an early sign of friction between the new coalition partners. The court papers were submitted to the Electoral Court by the DA in May before it entered into a coalition with the ANC, but it decided to still go ahead with the case. The DA asked the court to deduct 1% of the vote received by the ANC in the May 29th national election and fine Ramaphosa, the ANC leader, $10,900 and his party $5,450 over what it argues was a presidential address that was used for election campaigning and mounted to an abuse of office. The ANC responded Thursday by calling the DA a legal action frivolous and unwarranted, and said the president was following the constitution when he made the speech. Now we move to other parts of Africa. After this break, please stay with us. Welcome back. Now news from other parts of Africa. Preparations are underway in Central African Republic for local election due to take place in October for the first time in over 36 years. MINUSCA, the country's United Nations peacekeeping mission, is providing multifaceted support, a key provision of the most recent peace agreement, the Political Agreement for Peace and Reconciliation, signed in 2019. Operations to review the electoral register will begin soon with the support of MINUSCA, which will deploy 104 tons of equipment and transport 384 people, said its spokesperson Florence Marshall. But she said MINUSCA's support was not limited to logistical and technical aspects. On the political level, it is reflected in good offices of the Secretary General Special Representative to create favorable conditions for the holding of an inclusive, participatory, and peaceful electoral process. MINUSCA has allocated $1.3 million in direct funding to support revision of the electoral roll and its advocacy with other international partners to mobilize additional resources. We also have that Amnesty International called on the United Nations on Thursday to extend the arms embargo on Darfur to cover all of Sudan in a report on weapons flooding the war-torn country. The 15-month war between Sudan's regular army and the paramilitary rapid support forces, fueled by unpaid supply of weapons into Sudan by states and corporate actors around the world, the rights watchdog said. The new report, titled New Weapons Fueling the Sudan Conflict, found recently manufactured or transferred weapons from countries including Russia, Turkey, the United Arab Emirates, Serbia, Yemen, and China were being imported and used on the battlefield. Since it erupted in April last year, the war has killed tens of thousands of people, with some estimating the toll to be as high as 150,000, according to U.S. envoy to Sudan, Tom Perillo. It has also uprooted over 10 million people, creating what the UN calls the world's worst displacement crisis. We'll also have that at least 42 protesters were in court in Uganda for offenses allegedly committed during a banned youth-led demonstration in the capital, Kampala. The young protesters had earlier marched on the city's street to denounce what they say are corruption and human rights abuses by lawmakers. The charges against the protesters outline offenses including being idle and disorderly and being a common nuisance, a charge that has often been used by authorities to suppress protest. They pleaded not guilty and were ordered to return to court at different dates between July 30 and August 6th. Opposition leaders, including Bobby Wine of the National Unity Platform, say embezzlement and misuse of government funds are widespread in Uganda and have long accused President Yoweri Museveni of failing to prosecute corrupt officials who are loyal to him. He has repeatedly denied condoning corruption. Up next is business. Please stay with us. Welcome back now to business news. The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, has announced that the federal government revenue for the first half of 2024 has exceeded its budgetary targets. Edun, who announced this at a press briefing in Abuja on Thursday, also clarifies that the Supreme Court's proceeding granting financial autonomy to local governments have not yet been communicated to the Attorney General of the Federation for proper study and implementation. A 7-man panel of the Supreme Court made the landmark decision, which was, however, opposed by some state governors. The minister explained that the process was still in its early stages and further steps would be taken once the full details were available. A federal government committee was set up to examine the participability of the judgment. The actual proceeding has not been handed down to the AGF, the finance minister stated. This indicates that the direct disbursement of funds to local government, initially expected to commence at the Federation Account Allocation Committee monthly meeting last week, will be delayed until committee fully reviews the Supreme Court's proceedings. We also have that the number of vehicles imported into the country fell sharply by 60.4% year-on-year to 10,991 in the first half of the year 2024, reflecting the impact of the naira depreciation and general economic downturn. This was contained in a report of the just concluded quarterly meeting of the Nigerian Port Consultative Council (NPCC). The report stated vehicle traffic shows a total 10,991 units of vehicles was handled during the period under review, indicating a drop of 60.8% from the 28,024 units in 2023. Following the same trend, the number of ships that called at the Union's seaports fell by 4.3% on the year-to-year to 251 in the first year of 2024 from the 275 in 2023. But despite the drop in vessel calls, the gross tonnage of ships rose 6.9% to 32.614 million metric tons in the first quarter 2024 from 30,554 million 276 in 2023. Away from that, management of the International Monetary Fund has approved a 12-month staff-monitored program for Equatorial Guinea that aims to deliver stronger, sustainable, and more inclusive private sector-led growth. Key pillars of the SMP are reinforcing fiscal stability, restoring the soundness of the banking sector, implementing structural reforms to facilitate economic diversification, improving social outcomes, and promoting better governance. Successful implementation of reforms underlining the SMP will help the authorities establish a requisite policy implementation track record for a potential fund financing arrangement. Hydrocarbon production in Equatorial Guinea has fallen 56% since its peak in 2008 and is expected to fall a further 32% by 2029. Driven by a contraction in hydrocarbon production, Equatorial Guinea re-entered recession in 2023 with real GDP estimated to have contracted by 5.8%. The persistent decline in hydrocarbon production has put Equatorial Guinea fiscal and external accounts under strain. The economy is expected to stagnate in the medium term, reinforcing the urgent need for economic diversification. Still to come is sport. Please stay with us.
This is Hillstv. Quality broadcasting is what we'll bring to you. Now we be this
Welcome back now to Sport News. Former Nigeria international Victor Ikpebal has heaped applause on the Super Falcons despite the team's defeat to Brazil. Gabi Nunez's first half goal separated both teams on the night. The Super Falcons put up a spirited display and were denied by Brazil goalkeeper Lionel tries in the opening 25 minutes. Ikpebal commended the players for giving everything against the Brazilians. They probably lacked the quality in attack, but they have everything to be proud of. The Super Eagles must learn from how they fight for each other. Randy Wardrum's side will take on Spain in their second Group C game in Nantes on Sunday. Away from that, Manchester City striker Julian Alvarez will cost interested clubs €707 million this summer. According to the Athletics, the Premier League champions have slapped a huge price tag on the Argentina star, who has demanded to leave Pep Guardiola's side. The 22-year-old wants more game time and is also looking to relocate to a warmer climate. However, he might find himself hindered by City's valuation, which is reportedly around €60 million plus €17 million in potential add-ons. Atletico Madrid, who have shown considerable interest in the player, disagree with City's demand and might put out of any potential deal. And that's your sport news on Africa Today. We move to the rest of the news after this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back now to the rest of the news. The federal government has announced plans to restock the National Strategic Food Reserve System to address food insecurity and stabilize food prices in the country. The Minister of State for Agriculture and Food Security, Aliyu Abdullahi, made this known at the unveiling of the 2024 Global Food Policy Report themed Improving Food Systems for Healthy Diet and Nutrition in Nigeria. Policies and actions organized by the International Food Policy Research Institute and Global Alliance for Improved Nutrition. The United Nations predicted that 82 million Nigerians, about 64% of the country's population, may go hungry by 2030, calling on the government to tackle climate change, pest infestation, and other threats to agricultural productivity. It also noted that in Nigeria, 37% of children, or 6 million children, are stunted, chronically malnourished, or low height for age, more than half of them severely. In addition, 18% of children suffer from wasting, acutely malnourished, or low weight for height. Speaking at the event in Abuja on Thursday, Abdullahi stated that the government is working hard to ramp up food production, particularly for major staples like rice, maize, and cassava, to calm down the current food situation. And that's Africa Today. But before we go, here are the headlines again. We told you that Tinubu rails out 3 achievements as reasons Nigerians shouldn't hit street. We also brought to you that Gambia, Senegal hold talks to strengthen border security. We brought to you that Uganda protest, at least 42 charged in Kampala court. And on sport, we told you that Man City demands €77 million after striker asked to leave Guardiola's side. Remember to visit us on Facebook at Hillstv Abuja, Instagram at Hillstv Abuja, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Hillstv. I am Wisdom Onisi. Thanks for watching.